Good morning, you are joining me on a very cold, very foggy morning in South Wales. We are deep in the Welsh valleys, we are deep in the Rhondda Cynon Taff Valley, and we are walking another hill from the miners list, my personal list of the best hills in South Wales. Today's hill is Cefn y Rhondda. It's 486 metres. It's a really nice walk, looking at about 6 mile loop, and it is topped by a trig point which is a little bit hidden away in a woodland. As you should be able to tell, everything is frozen solid. It's a fantastic day for walking. There's not a breath of wind in the air. It's incredibly still, incredibly peaceful. The only downside is the cloud over the hilltops. So we're at about 1100 feet at the moment above sea level, so it's pretty clear in the valleys, but the hills are shrouded in a bit of fog and cloud. So I'm hoping we'll get some breaks in that, because we are right in the valleys. There are some great views from up here all the way to the central Banner Ceiniog, which today, because it's cold and there's probably a tiny bit of snow up on the tops, Pen y Fan in the area will be absolutely heaving. You will not be able to park anywhere but on the verges of the road. It's going to be absolute carnage up there. And I knew coming to this part of the valleys, we are not going to see a single soul, I wouldn't have thought. So once again, it's why I do the miners list. Great hills, but you still get absolute solitude if you really want that. So we're actually at our first little summit of the morning, a hill I am not even going to attempt to pronounce, but it's 429 metres, and this is a little lump on top, which is the highest point. Wandering through a wind farm now, so you can just hear a very gentle whooshing noise of the blades chopping through the mist, and then one will just appear out of the mist quite close to you, and you can just about see the tops catching a little bit of pale sunshine from the sun trying to break through. There's a few ways of walking this hill, but this was the route I took last time, so it's the route I'm following again today. It's a nice easy tracks where the access to the wind farm is. Goes through a tiny section of private land, but back into open access land very, very quickly. So you could avoid that if you wanted to, but I don't have any issues cutting through a little bit of private land on a hill like this. So there's a windmill right next to us now. You should be able to see the fog and mist behind us still, but really strange, that last gate into the woodland, the fog stops at the gate in the mist, and we've got clear blue skies above, beautiful green light emanating from the trees, and solitude in this little clearing in the pine forest, I think, or was it evergreen? I don't know. I know nothing about trees, but I do know this is a really good walk, and this kind of thing just adds a little bit more variety that you don't really get when you get up to the Brecon Beacons. So we're not too far from the trig point now, I don't think. We're approaching the 3 mile mark. That's with me doing a bit of back and forth with the camera and nosing about and stuff. And we've done nearly 800 feet of ascent since we left the car. So even though we parked fairly high up, we've still done a reasonable amount of ascent since. But there's definitely lots of nice gentle sections, a couple of steeper ones, but it's a very pleasant walk. It is the 2nd of December, so it is great to be walking through this mass of Christmas trees, and they be covered in a nice frost. It does feel a bit more Christmassy than the normal thing you get in the UK, especially South Wales, where you just get drizzle, rain, mild weather throughout December and November, and it doesn't feel much like Christmas. Today, in the last couple of days, definitely been an exception. It's a shame we didn't get any snow. But looking ahead at the clear skies you got up here, it looks like we are going to get some good views, because a trig point is in the forest, but just beyond the trig point there's a clearing, a little embankment, and you can get up on that, and I think we should have views for miles and miles and miles. Today was one of those days where I could have not come out. I live in the valleys. I could see the low cloud rolling over the hilltops. I could see that there's a distinct possibility there'd be a lack of views today. So I could have easily have made my excuses, not come out, not feeling 100%, have a bit of a cold or weak lingering around as well. But you force yourself to come out, you take a chance. You start walking in fog and clag and mist, and then suddenly you get the most amazing light, the most amazing solitude and peace, and you realise it was absolutely worth coming out, taking that risk. You don't get it every single time. Sometimes you come out and it won't be the best, but the more times you take that chance, the more times you get conditions like this. I don't do a huge amount of woodland walking. A lot of the hills in South Wales are quite barren and desolate, but this hill, it's definitely got that. And it's got some really cool crags and a completely different path on the way back to the car. A little section of woodland like this on a day like today, absolutely magical. And I kind of realised that the miners list videos and a lot of the videos we're making recently, almost kind of a series of love letters for the South Wales valleys. I just feel like they don't get enough kind of recognition for their beauty and their solitude. Here we are, the very frosty frozen trig point of Cefn y Rhondda, 481 metres. So if I've been saying anything else throughout the video, I've been wrong and I've misremembered. 481 metres, a really little trig point that I don't think it's visited very often. The views from the trig point itself are not fantastic because we've got trees in front of me, trees to the left of me, a track runs right past the trig point here. But you'll see a little fence just over my shoulder. That is the edge of some kind of recent quarry work or groundwork, maybe where they've been doing some wind farms. From up there are a much better view, so I'm going to mosey up to there and show you around. Now this is more like it, but obviously the cloud inversion is hiding the little things. You can see a wind farm just over there. We're looking north and maybe the very faintest outline of the Bannebrackenyog Central Mountains. It looks like they're steeped in cloud at the moment as well. And then rocking around to the other side, you can see over to another distant valley with some hill cover. A lovely spot to sit, this one. Well, it's time to say goodbye to this very lonely, hidden and little visited trig point and start making our way slightly further north, and then we're going to turn back and come down the other side of the ridgeway where there is a really nice path and there's lots of little crags and other cool places to explore. So I'm conscious, though, I've set the drone up, that we are in a little island of sunshine here and that the rest of the hill is still a little bit claggy, so might not get the most amazing views on the way back, but I think it's definitely lifted a little bit since we walked up, so it should be slightly better on the way down. But yeah, let's make a little start and explore the rest of this really cool hill. So looking to my left, because we're now going back down the valley back towards the car, the cloud seems to have dropped quite a lot, so we could be really fortunate to have a kind of cloud inversion all the way back. That's what I'm hoping for. I didn't mention cloud inversion the entire walk up, even in my own head, and certainly not the camera, because I did not want to jinx anything or get my hopes up, but it's turned out much better than I thought, and it's beautiful here. It's frozen absolutely solid still in the shade here. It's just great conditions for this walk. Well, this makes it the second time I've walked a hill on the miners list and found an abandoned camping chair. Garth Hill was the other one. I took that back because it had a bag with it and I packed it up and took it back, but that one is frozen solid, so I can't carry that back to the car, sadly. So the views are opening right up now across to the other valley. So the hill across there is Cefn y Rhondda, also on the miners list. Did that walk with the Roman camp and the waterfall, really good. And just above the cloud there, a little lump, is Tylerstown Tip, which is a little bobble visible for many miles around. And you can see this lovely path cut along the edge here, just full of absolutely frozen solid water. That's the forest we obviously walked up in, and we walked up through that wind farm, so you can see that still visibility down there is probably pretty poor, but we're just high enough up here to get really expansive views and more wind farms. So we've done 5 miles now. We've dropped down a fair bit as well, as you would have seen from that last little clip. So we are kind of on the edge of the cloud inversion now. There's a little bit of mist drifted over the ridgeway and passing over me, but the visibility ahead is still looking pretty good on this side. The fog and mist seems to be hitting the other side of the hill and then dissipating a little bit over the middle section and leaving this side fairly clear. So we should have decent views most of the way back, although some of the craggier sections just below aren't going to be particularly visible today. And there is a little Valleys town down below us, just about here, the road that goes through it, but cannot see that today. Completely submerged in cloud and fog. What a day for it. The whole of South Wales, the valleys and the flatlands, shrouded in cloud and fog. and we're high enough up in these particular valley ridgeways to be above it, and it's absolutely glorious. So it has cleared right out now. That was the summit run earlier when we couldn't see anything. 429 metres. You can see we've dropped down a fair bit the other side of that now, and we're going to follow this gravel road back around the other side and get back to Penrhys. It's getting slightly warm. I take my beanie off because it's quite warm. We're making a fairly steady pace now as well. And we've got a bit more ascent now to get back up the side of this hill and around. But we're approaching 6 miles ish, so it's definitely a decent walk, this one. Obviously I'm making it into a loop because it's you get the best of both sides of the hill then. It's a bit of a shame we didn't have a bit clear weather early on so we could see west, because there are some nice valleys in that direction as well. Slightly in the mist now, but still much better visibility than earlier. And I've just seen 2 dog walkers, and then there are the noise of dirt bikes in the distance, so the perfect solitude has been broken, but it's been not too bad. Now, I've obviously enthused about this walk an awful lot, so if you're ever in South Wales in the valleys and you want a really good walk that's a bit off the beaten track, then the walkingkev.co.uk website will have full details of the track, so where to park, distances, ascents, descents, all that kind of stuff, along with loads of other walks in South Wales and beyond, as well as obviously all the other minor list videos I've done. We are getting pretty close to completing my initial list of hills, although I've still not done most of the Neath valleys and all that, so we might add some more based on some of those looking quite promising. I think we're almost at 40 40 of these miners videos now, which is quite a lot. So yeah, I'm just going to keep moseying on, but it's been such a fantastic walk on a day like today where other parts of South Wales, the better known areas, will be absolutely rammed. You can come up here and just be pretty much completely alone. Back in the car now. Distinct lack of use towards the end section as we dip back into the cloud, but no, couldn't have asked for better conditions really, despite the lack of use at the start. To have the cloud inversion and the sun at the top and the frozen ground, everything was just absolutely perfect. So if you've made it this far, a huge thanks for watching as always. As I said, you can check out all the routes on the website. You can check out the miners playlist as well if you want to see any more walks in this series. But yes, I will get home, get back to the kids, and I'll catch you in the next one.